Hi guys, welcome back to another Behind the Beat interview. Today I am here with the lovely
Jasmine Kiara.
Yay! And Jasmine, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a recording artist, singer, songwriter, actress, model, just all around performer based in Toronto. I'm from Mississauga, but I'm based in Toronto, and I'm so happy to be here with you today.
Do you usually rap Mississauga or?
Like, people who are not from Canada don't really know Mississauga like that, so I just say Toronto when I travel, but when I'm here, I have to say Mississauga because then they're like, we're in Toronto, and I'm like, you got me.
You got me. All right, fine. I'll name drop Mississauga just for you guys.
Yeah, just for the locals.
And you said that you're an R&B artist. For how long have you been doing this?
I've been making R&B music for, I would say, 7-8 years. So I started studying music when I was younger. That was like my activity, like everybody's swimming or whatever. That was my thing, singing lessons. And then I kept doing it into high school, did like the Royal Conservatory of Music in voice. Started writing my own stuff in high school and then studied music in university, and I studied jazz. So there's like some jazz influence in my music and live instrumentation that I really like. And yeah, so it's just been a lifelong career because I kept doing my hobby. Like, I feel like most kids stop after 18, 20.
That's true.
But I just kept going with it because I really liked it and I thought I could make a career out of it.
That's a really bold move to do. Did anyone push you to make that decision, or was it just you?
No, I think I definitely had supportive parents, even though I know, like, it's difficult for people. My parents were both immigrants, so I feel like it was very progressive of them to be.
That is,
yeah,
quite
and
progressive.
only so much. I will say, like, they're still like, are you gonna go to law school? But I feel like in their own way they were, and I think the more that they saw it was like a viable business thing, business venture that I could make money from.
Yeah.
And then there were tangible, like, outputs that they could see, like, oh, I could show you the show on Netflix that I'm in that you could see, like, it's a real thing. Like, it's not just me and my friends. Like, this is real that you could consume.
No, this isn't just like home videos.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm singing on like real TV. So then they're like, oh, okay, it's kind of real. So they were more supportive that way. But I think, no, I went to concerts. Like, I loved going to concerts of artists that I listened to when I was younger, and I was like, I really think I can do this. Like, I feel like things like even like Olympics or like certain things, you kind of really have to start at like 5, you know? And
so true.
And like,
do you really think that for like all?
Not all, but I think the great thing about entertainment is that you can start at different ages and at different levels and still get like progress very well, versus I feel like maybe other disciplines you kind of have to start pretty early. So I think that I had like, it was a fluid enough discipline that I was like, no, I think that if I want to be an artist I can do that. It doesn't
never
seem
felt
out of reach
for you.
Yeah.
You just saw them on stage and you're like, I could be right next to you right now.
Yeah, because there are so many like varieties of artists as well. Like, there are like artists who dance, artists who just sing on stage, like,
especially nowadays with everyone coming out with like their own sound and like breaking through like genres.
Yeah, that I feel like it can be whatever you want to make it. So I just felt like able to. I felt empowered to do it.
Well, that's amazing to hear. And today, you're here to talk about your new EP, Love Wasn't Meant for Me. Wow. It's actually your second EP since Just Friends, which was released back in 2019. So how has your music developed over the years since then?
Oh, it's been so fun because I feel like in 2019, that's when I was in college, and I was writing with my friends who like were in music class with me, who played instruments, and so that was, I feel like, the really beginning of my kind of artist development, like sound-wise. And having not worked with a major label at that time, I was able to do whatever I wanted, and I didn't have a lot of input, and so I was trying a lot of stuff out and like figuring out how I liked to work and who I liked to work with and how I like to collaborate. So I think I think that was very like introductory. And then this project, I feel like I just had a lot more knowledge in so many aspects in terms of like the artwork, music videos, of course instrumentation and composition and production, and like what I wanted to say to my collaborators and how I wanted to say to have more confidence. And then I also have like my management team now. So I feel like so many other parts of the business were really refined that I was able to like elevate what I did last, my last. I was able to elevate from my last project to now, and I just feel like that's the goal, like always.
Right.
Yeah.
You said that was before you were signed to like a major label. You're signed to Warner Chappell right now.
I'm
right?
not signed as an artist,
Okay.
but I'm working with them in the basically like a publishing capacity. So kind of
Okay.
on the backside, on the back end. Yeah, it's kind of like difficult to explain, but it's great because I feel like some of my reps there are like really enthusiastic and really supportive.
Right.
But I still have that creative freedom because I'm not in an artist
Because I
deal
was
yet.
just about to bring that up because you mentioned like in the earlier days you had that creative freedom. So
Yeah.
are you a bit more restricted now?
No, not at all. I feel like it's honestly best case because I'm still able to access their feedback and resources and continue to grow my network, but still have like final say about what I want things to sound like, what I want things to be released like, and how I want to represent myself.
So do you feel like you have a lot more control over these different aspects of your career?
Yeah. I think just with growing knowledge, you can exercise more control because like feel.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Write that one down, guys.
Because I feel like I just know a little bit more of what I'm talking about. I'm still definitely new and like definitely young and so much to learn, but I do think I have a lot more knowledge about the industry than I did when I first put out my project, like in 2019.
Hey, that's good. That's good to hear. You said that it was also very fun in these few years, but your EP, it's quite emotional.
Yeah.
It's quite the turbulent journey. So
Yeah.
can you talk about that a little more?
Yeah, the project, so those songs were written over the last few years, and it started with the title track, Love Wasn't Meant For Me. That was actually the first song that I had written and recorded, I think in 2020. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've been sitting on that for a while.
Yeah, I have, and I've been playing it, and like the funniest part is that I've gotten out all my feelings about it, and like when I first was playing it for people, I was still so emotionally tied to it, and now I'm like, it's not so far from where I'm at, but it's like it's such a moment in the past that it's so funny for everybody to be like, oh my god, I'm crying. I'm like,
you're like,
I'm so over this. I'm like, I can't wait for you guys to hear this new stuff.
But like, I'm glad you guys love it.
Yeah, but at the time, the concept for the project is kind of taking you through like a turbulent relationship, and it's definitely based on like my previous experiences and my previous relationships, and also with contributions from the writers. That's what made it so like fun and interesting for me, is that I was able to collaborate with other writers a lot more actively. That they added so much and like so many ideas that I would just have never gotten to by myself. And so yeah, the project basically is like starts off with Home, which we released earlier this year around Valentine's Day, and that's like the lovey, like honeymoon phase song, like that core R&B wedding track. And then it moves into like Uncommitted, Addicted, which are like obviously the more toxic like patterns in a relationship. We've all been there. We've all been there. And Tethered, which is about like that invisible thread you feel like you have with someone that you still might not end up with, but you feel like you're always going to be like tied to them. Yeah. You know, like soul tie. Everybody knows those ones.
And soul tied to an anchor. Anyways.
I know. No, seriously. And then Want You Back is actually I Don't Want You Back. Just finally realizing like this relationship isn't going to work out, and it's probably for the best, so I'm just going to keep pushing forward. And then Love Wasn't Meant For Me, which is at the end, but yeah, it was the first written, and it was like when I was in my feelings, because also my friends at the time, like during COVID, were all, not all, but a lot of them were getting married and like having families.
That would
yeah, and I was just like, yeah, it feels a little bit isolating. I don't feel that way now. And even in the time, I'm like, I know this isn't real, but you know, you draw, what's the word that I'm looking for?
Comparisons?
No, but you kind of exacerbate what you're, at least for me as a writer, like exacerbate what you're feeling, because like that deep like rawness is what I think makes the best writing. But I know it's not reality. Like Love Wasn't Meant For Me, so that's what I was feeling, and I was sad, but it's so extreme. Like, it's, and I mean, maybe I can say that now because I'm out of it. But yeah, at the time, I guess I just felt like I was never going to have the relationship that I wanted, the family that I wanted, the wedding that I wanted, and that's also what tied into like the wedding concept.
You're speaking to a lot of people right now.
I know, and I feel like that for women especially, I just feel like there's so much pressure. I think things are definitely a bit different than the previous generation in that like there's not as much like, I want to say linear,
like emphasis on like
milestones.
These milestones, right?
Yeah, it feels like it's a little bit more fluid, but I still think there's definitely pressure where like my family's like, oh, who are you bringing home for Christmas?
Oh God.
And I'm like,
don't
oh
remind
my
me.
God.
I'm gonna get those questions too.
Yeah. So that's kind of what even the cover and like the artwork was inspired by, is like, I'm never gonna have my wedding. I'm never gonna have like this relationship that I thought I was gonna have by now. And even my parents, they met when they were 19 and they're still together. And I didn't know that was an anomaly. Like, I thought that's just what happens to everybody. Like, you just meet when you're in high school and then you just start together forever.
I was also expecting something,
you know? Yeah, but it's just not the reality, and that's okay. But it just felt really sad. So I just wrote the sad song, but I love the song. And I love performing it for people, and I love making people cry.
Of course, and we love crying. And you said love wasn't meant for me. You made it like way back in 2019. How has it changed, or has it not changed at all? Was it more dramatic when you wrote it and then you toned it down over the years, or does it still keep that like intensity?
It was literally, I didn't change any lyrics. I think it was maybe 2020 or 2021 when I wrote it, and I've been working on the recording since then. And just recently this year we finally added the live strings, which I think really like took it to the next level. Just because I feel like, again, going to music school, there's just nothing like live instruments for me.
Nothing.
And so that was really fun to put in, but it's still, I think it's still really powerful, and I think, yeah, it's still really relatable. But I'm just glad that I don't feel as close to it emotionally, because now I can perform it freely and it's not like like hurting every time I have to sing it for people.
Do you think it's like a form of therapy to be singing that song? Yeah.
I think it's just a form of therapy to write. Like, I think the performance is separate. It's really beautiful to like share that connection with people and have that energy exchange live. I think therapy comes when I'm like writing through it. Yeah.
Hey, that's beautiful to hear. But how did you manage to get to such a vulnerable state to write this music?
Okay, so a lot of my music when I first started was awful. Like, so much of my music, it's because I've been writing for like now 10 years, and so much of my songs were not good. So I think it took a long time to get through the bad. And I don't want to say bad, you're just learning.
Yeah, like, do you like hate your older
It's just
music,
that I think it was juvenile. Part of it's age.
But you were young.
Yeah, part of it's age, but there's so many great young writers, and I think learning like that skill of songwriting and being introspective and being able to be vulnerable, I think for me that came with time, and I'm still learning so much. I don't think I'll ever be done learning like about songwriting. But yeah, I think it like took time to be brave enough to say what I actually want to say, and then it took time to get good at delivering that.
So you think when you were younger you were hiding a little bit more?
Yeah, because I'm like, oh, like people are gonna know I really feel like but that's the whole point.
Yeah, like the whole like plight of being young, like, no, people are gonna know I have emotions.
Yes. So it's just that maturity of like literally not caring, and that's the whole reason you're doing it. But then also, once you're brave enough to like have an authentic message, really delivering it in an interesting way. Because I feel like some music, like some writers like SZA, or like there's just so many writers that I respect so much. Like, they say things in the craziest way, and you're like, wow, I could have never put it like that, but it's so relatable, or that's so deep, or like impactful.
Right, and that's what you like are working on.
That's what I'm striving to do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, girl, I think you're already there, but you know what? We're always hardest on ourselves. So.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. You've mentioned that each song on Love Wasn't Meant For Me represents a different chapter in the emotional roller coaster of heartbreak and self-discovery. Which track would you say resonates most deeply with you?
Oh my god! Oh my god. I would say either and they're also my favorites, either Home or Tethered.
Okay.
Like, I love Love Wasn't Meant for Me, but it is so sad and like there's so much despair. I don't think I'd want that to resonate with me forever. But I love Tethered because there's like an immortality to it, which I do feel like applies to so many of my relationships, not even just romantic relationships, but I think friendships, family relationships that might have ended, but you still feel connected. That's very, I think, universal.
Yeah.
And then Home, I think, is so beautiful and like makes me feel really good, and I'm really proud of that. I'm really proud of the writing on that one. Yeah.
But if you have to choose one, I
And
like
then
making it hard for people.
I'd say Home if I had to choose one. Yeah.
Aww, that's so sweet. Oh, I love that. Oh, that's so cute. Thank you. Okay, so you also got to perform your most recent single, Uncommitted, at NXNE over the summer. What was the experience like, and how has that experience sort of, what's the word, impacted the way you made your EP?
The experience of performing live? Well, I would say that most of the songs were done before that performance, but first of all, performing at North by Northwest was so fun. It's always really nice to like see how the music is received live, and being able to see like what people think of the lyrics and the melody and stuff, and like you can see their live bodily reaction. So it was such a fun set to play, and I love playing with some band members that I normally perform with. So that festival was a great experience. And then how it informed the project, I think just because the project was mostly done by that time, I think previous performances, I do always think about when I'm recording how it's going to translate to live shows,
Right.
and how I think more we can change the live performance versions so that they're not exactly like the recording, because I feel like why would you come out to hear what you could just hear on your phone, like at home?
That's
so
fair.
I really want it to be different. So I think that's why I like to include a lot of live instrumentation in the recordings, and I think that's why there's a lot of live instrumentation in this project, because I like to translate that and then be able to bring those elements into the live performance and change up the arrangements and the compositions and the flow for people who come out, so that it's a little bit different and like special.
That's amazing. You're like a live instrument girl.
Yeah, I am. It's music. It's music, and I know that there's so many different forms, and like producing on DAW systems are like are great, but
because that's almost, I feel like, the norm now,
especially for R&B, which is so cool. You can get so many cool sounds out of it. But yeah, I love like a live band, and actually I love both. Like I think definitely in the future I'm going to be incorporating both a lot more into my sets. Yeah, I'll let you guys know.
Please do, actually.
I will.
Okay, and you've had major milestones this year. Yay. From your publishing deal with Warner Chappell to performing at NXNE. Sorry guys, that's how I say it.
No,
one
it's okay.
else does though.
Have you been to North by Northwest?
No.
Oh, you should go next year.
Thank you.
It's good.
I will. If you perform.
Oh, why am I saying? It's North by Northeast. It's, NXNE.
Guys.
It's North by Northeast.
It's okay. They get it. It's their fault for having a long name. Okay. How have these experiences shaped your vision for Love Wasn't Meant for Me and your career moving forward?
Ooh, I think it's just made me really excited and like really open-minded to what opportunities are in store and what's possible. I think just expanding my business is what's really important to me now, or touring in the future. I'm just really excited to like dial in and lock in on my business, because I feel like that really is such a big part of entertainment in general, but especially music.
And it's an easily overlooked part.
Totally, because I didn't go into this wanting to care about business. Like
no artist does.
No.
Like, I want to make music.
Yeah, but and that's so beautiful and like altruistic and respectable, but that's just not gonna get you paid, I don't think. And I think working on my craft and being disciplined and studying and still trying to get good at songwriting or singing or performing is like really important to me. But I think those accomplishments from this year has just really made my resolve stronger to make my business really strong. Yeah.
How do you keep up this confidence?
Oh my god, thanks. Confidence? Honestly, I don't know that it's confidence. I just think I don't want to say, I'm trying to frame this in a sorry, let me think about it for 1 second because I don't want to sound bad.
No. You don't sound bad at all.
I just don't want to sound, I don't want to sound callous, but I really just don't care. Like, I feel like I just work so hard, and I know that, like, I try my best to be genuine and authentic and hard on myself because, like, I want to do the best that I can, while still respecting myself and, like, respecting my efforts and being grateful. But I think confidence-wise is, like, I just know I work really hard, and I don't think that I feel confident when I know that I haven't worked hard. That's the thing. Like, I don't lie to myself.
I completely
You know what I mean?
understand.
So it's like by the time I'm at a certain place or I'm doing a certain thing, I just feel like, yeah, I wouldn't have confidence if I didn't think I deserved it. And I wouldn't put myself up for opportunities or advocate for myself if I know that I don't think that I'm qualified to do it. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm just very honest with myself and very self-critical, like I think in a positive way, that way. Yeah, and like also, nobody cares about what you're doing.
That's true.
Nobody cares about what you're doing
And
except for
anyone that does
you.
care a little bit too much,
It's
they're
not-
always the weird one.
And it's not even real. Like that's just so beyond reality. Genuinely, nobody cares about what you're doing, and that's why I feel like I'm the only one watching me. I'm the only one watching me.
That's
and like the team that I have, of course, they're like helping build and support, and we're all working together. But like that's really it. And if things go well, that's so great, and I'm excited, and my work has paid off. And if things don't go well, people really don't care. Like they don't care about you.
I need to adopt this like outlook on life.
Yeah, I don't think
This is the healthiest outlook I've ever heard.
I'm just vibing.
Who's your therapist? Like,
Oh my god, I need one.
You need one? You need one?
Well, yeah. Oh my god, this whole conversation.
Well, guys, I
That was
mean,
a
the album
conversation.
was quite emotional.
I know,
So-
right? That's why I need one. I just put on the project instead. That's my therapist. But you know what? I do hope that the music that I put out, that's actually a big goal of it, is like, I think that music for me has been such like a confidant, like a friend.
Yeah.
And I do hope that the project and the music can serve as like just a companion for people for whatever they're going through, if it's difficult or not difficult. Yeah.
So they can listen to it and they can be like, I cried this hard once.
Yeah, just attach their like emotions and hardships to the music. I feel like, you know, when you play something and you remember a certain time that you were in.
Immediately shut it off. I can't do this today. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, maybe not shut it off, but maybe be like,
No,
oh yeah,
never
when
shut
I
off
listened to
your
that
music,
Jasmine
of
Kiara
course.
song, I was having the best day. Or the worst day.
No. Hopefully, worst day turning into the best day.
Yes.
Well, Jasmine, thank you so much for
Thank
coming to this
you.
interview. It was absolutely lovely speaking to you guys.
Thank you as well.
Healthiest person in the world right
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Like,
No.
take advice from her, not me. No.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
You guys can't see it, but I am. Okay, well, that was all for today. Bye, guys.
Bye.